Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the repeat conference of 3 civil works and 2 for the goods and services. To start this procurement, may we all stand for the prayer. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty Father, today that every moment we are thank you to your God, may we see your grace in everything. This name we pray. Amen. Once again, good afternoon. May I introduce you now to the members of the bank headed by our bank chairman, Attorney Clarence Limando, our bank vice chairman, General Arturo Pipose, and bank members, Attorney Nero Rusquilo, and Engineer AC Manzano. For the technical working group, we have the head of the technical working group, Engineer Rachel Lumagi, and member, Ma'am Edwina. For the secretariat, yours truly, Raniero Salinas, and our IT support, Sir Bon Gallo. Sir, majority of the bank members are present. There's a quorum, sir. Thank you. There being a quorum is proceeding for the private conference of the civil works and goods and services sample to order. Do we have any attending observer from what? No, there's also no interested here. That it is private conference. So may I request now our secretary let us present the part of details, the requirements and schedule of this conference. So for the civil works, we have 3 civil works project, 25A00552, maintenance, repair, and rehabilitation of infrastructure, facilities, and other related activities. Laoag River Basin control structures. 25A00553, maintenance, repair, and rehabilitation of infrastructure, facilities, and other related activities, Agno flood control structures. And 25A00554, maintenance, repair, and rehabilitation of infrastructure, facilities, and other related activities. Post Ondoy and Pepeng short-term infrastructure rehabilitation project, POPSTIRP structures.
The purpose of PREBID conference is to discuss, clarify, and explain the different aspects of the projects of the procuring entity with the prospective bidders. It must be held at least 12 calendar days before the deadline for bid submission, but not earlier than 7 calendar days from the advertisement or posting of bid opportunity.
There are the following contract data for contract ID number 25A0552. Location, Laoag City, Ilocos Norte, with the ABC of 25 million. For the scope of work, clear and gravity, geotechnical subsurface exploration, 1 borehole, 15-meter depth, earthworks, structure excavation, embankment from baho, installation of structural steel sheet piles, construction of reinforced concrete pile cap, construction of reinforced concrete revetment, with the contract duration of 182 calendar days. 25A00553, location Bayambang, Pangasinan, with the ABC of 25 million. For the scope of work, clear and gravity, structure excavation, and embankment from barrow, installation of steel sheet pile, V-type, hot roll, construction of reinforced concrete slope revetment, conduct of geotechnical investigation, 2 boreholes at 15-meter deep each, with the contract duration of 174 calendar days. 25A00554, location Umingan, Pangasinan, with the EPC of 25 million for the scope of works of clearing gravity, structure excavation, embankment from barrow, installation of steel sheet pile, Z-type, hot roll, construction of reinforced concrete slope revetment, conduct of geotechnical investigation, 2 boreholes at 15-meter deep each, with a contract duration of 174 calendar days.
Supplemental Bid Bulletin issued by BAC to answer requests for clarification, queries submitted 10 calendar days before deadline or interpretation, and upon BAC's initiative to clarify or modify any provision of bidding documents at least 7 calendar days before deadline for bids. Posted in FieldJobs and procuring entities' website and at any conspicuous place within the premises of the procuring entity. Bidders who have submitted bids before the issuance of supplemental bid bulletin must be informed in writing and allowed to modify or withdraw their respective bids. Submission and receipt of bids. Checklist of technical documents Class A. Legal documents. Valid FieldJobs registration certificate, platinum membership, in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the IRR. Per GPPB Resolution Number 18-2017, in lieu of the Class A eligibility documents, which were uploaded and maintained current and updated in FieldJobs, bidders are required to submit their FieldJobs certificate of registration during bid submission in the case infrastructure projects, pursuant to Section 25.2 BI of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184. Additional for the checklist of technical documents, Class A technical documents. Statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules, and special pickup license in case of joint ventures, and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. Original copy of bid security. If in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration. Bid validity period, 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. Bid security validity period, 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. The bidder shall submit a bid securing declaration or any form of bid security enumerated below. Cash or cashier's manager check issued by a universal or commercial bank, 2%. Bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a universal or commercial bank, 2%. And surety bond called upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, 5%. Project requirements which shall include the following: organizational chart for the contract to be bid, list of contractors' key personnel, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foremen to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data. List of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor vendor for the duration of the project, as the case may be. For the laboratory equipment, please refer to DPWH Department Order Number 11, Series of 2017 for the minimum materials testing equipment. Original duly signed Omnibus Sworn Statement or OSS, and if applicable, original notarized Secretary's Certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the Omnibus Sworn Statement and do acts to represent the bidder. For the financial documents, the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity, or NFCC, computation of NFCC of at least equal to ABC, computed using the prescribed formula. NFCC equals current assets minus current liabilities times 15 minus value of unfinished projects, including awarded projects not yet started, coinciding with the contract to be bid. Class B documents, if applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement in accordance with RA number 4566 and its IRR in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statement from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the joint venture agreement in the instance that the bid is successful. Checklist of financial documents. Original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form and other documentary requirements under RA number 9184. Original of duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. Duly accomplished detailed estimates form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid, and cash flow by quarter. Bid submission may be done manually or electronically or online. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. Similar to manual submission, the guidelines for the preparation and submission of an electronic bid are contained in Bid Data Sheet ITB Clause 17 and Department Order No. 87, Series of 2020. Bid Evaluation. The financial component of the bids of each past bidder shall be evaluated using non-discretionary criteria, including arithmetical corrections for computational errors, and thus determine the correct total calculated bid prices. The BAC shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceeds the ABC. The following factors are to be considered in the evaluation of the bid prices. Completeness. No price in required item equals non-complying. Indicating a 0 or a dash equals free to the GOP. All prices are deemed to include all taxes. Bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including where applicable BOQ, shall be considered non-responsive. Arithmetical corrections. Bid prices in figures versus words, words prevails. Total price versus unit price per item, unit price prevails. Total price versus actual sum of component items, actual prevails. Unit cost in detailed estimate versus unit cost in BOQ, the latter prevails. If above ABC, non-complying. Post-qualification. Verification of legal requirements. Licenses, certificates, permits, non-inclusion in blacklist. For technical requirements, single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract. Key personnel, minimum work experience requirements should be satisfied. Availability and commitment of major construction equipment. Failure of the prospective bidder to state a complete technical description of the pledged equipment and the specific location, whether owned, leased, or under purchased agreement, shall result in the bidder's automatic post-disqualification for award of contract and forfeiture of its bid security per DO number 58, Series of 2012. Performance in ongoing government and private contracts. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair work and complete ongoing contracts in the prescribed date after receipt of the notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificate of acceptance in the prescribed date after the receipt of the notice of defects and failures. Substandard quality of works or unsatisfactory performance per contract term and conditions at the time of inspection. Liquidated damages currently imposed on the contractor. DO number 127 series of 2018, strict application of RA 9184 in the conduct of the post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contract with DPWH. Authenticity and correctness of bid security. For financial requirements, audited financial statement or AFS, especially current assets and liabilities. Up-to-date value of all outstanding or uncompleted works under ongoing and awarded contracts. Updated NFCC versus ABC. Requirements within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the BAC that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid or highest rated bid. The bidder shall submit to the BAC the following: registration certificate from SEC, Department of Trade and Industry, for sole proprietorship or CDA for cooperatives. Mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. Latest income tax and business returns duly stamped and received by BIR and duly validated with the tax payments. Tax clearance per EO 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Valid Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB license. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of this IRR. Notes on the personnel and equipment requirements of the project. As per DO number 9 series of 2012, technical requirements for civil works projects for public bidding. If a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the same time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract, and he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office. The bidder may propose a key technical personnel who is not its employee, provided that the said personnel is required to submit a certification that he or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded the contract under bidding. These certifications shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid. Also to be verified during post-qualification is the set of equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should specify in the submitted bid the location of the equipment where they can be inspected. If any equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified. For the contract award, the contract shall be awarded to the bidder whose bid has been determined to be the lowest calculated and responsive bid as a result of the detailed evaluation and post-qualification conducted. The successful bidder shall be notified through the issuance of notice of award within the bid validity period and must be conferred by the successful bidder in writing within 10 days upon receipt thereof in accordance with Section 37.2.2 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184. Common reasons for rejection of bids, ineligibility, and post-disqualification of bidder. Failure to submit original copy of the surety bond, certified by the Insurance Commission indicating the name of project, the procuring entity, and name of contractor. Shorter bid validity and bid security validity period. Overlapping of pledged equipment and committed key technical personnel. Failure to indicate the validity of bid in the bid form. Late submission of bid. Failure to submit supporting documents like certification of availability of equipments from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project if equipment pledged is to be leased or purchased. Negative slippage in the ongoing projects, negative 15% or more, or negative 10% in each of 2 or more ongoing projects. Unsatisfactory CPAS rating. Common errors in the submission of bids. Incomplete pages of bid documents, technical and financial. Authority of the signatory to sign on behalf of the bidder. For single proprietor, signatory should be the owner or proprietor only. For corporation or cooperative, board secretary certificate and board resolution. For joint venture resolution or agreement. And for partnership, as indicated in the articles of partnership.
So for these three projects, 25A00552, 25A00553, 25A00554, the deadline for submission of clarification is 10 days before the submission of bids. The deadline for submission of bids is on September 1, 2025 at 10 o'clock a.m. Number of copies of the proposal, one original copy of the technical and financial proposal for the place of submission of bids, second floor, conference room, DPWH, Laoag, City of San Fernando, Domino. So that answered the presentation of the Premier Conference for the 3 civil works project. We'll continue with the goods and services. So we have 2 projects under the goods and services 25GA00019, the supply and delivery of personal protective equipment, PPE, for third quarter to be used by various divisions of DPWH Regional Office 1. 25GA00020, the purchase and delivery of fuel for amphibious excavator with DPWH number K4-51 and support equipment in connection with the dredging operation at Agno River, Pugalion, Pangasinan. So we have 25GA00019 locations on Fernando City, La Union, with the EPC of 3,239,294 pesos. With scope of work service supply and delivery of personal protective equipment with a contract duration of 3 calendar days. 25GA00020, location Pugalion, Pangasinan, with the EPC of 2,845,920 pesos. For the scope of work, the purchase and delivery of fuel for amphibious excavator with DPWH number K4-51 and its support equipment with a contract duration of 151 calendar days. For the technical requirements, we have the Class A documents, legal documents, valid field certificate of registration, platinum membership, all pages. We have also the records of all these ongoing government-private contracts, including awarded but not yet started. Records of single largest completed contracts. Similar to the contract, adjusted the current price using the PSE, current price index, should have a contract amount equivalent to at least 50% of the EBC. The contract should be considered similar to the contract to be bid if it has the same major categories of work. Original copy of bid security in the form of a surety fund. Submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid security declaration and conformity with the technical specifications, which may include production, delivery schedule, manpower requirements, and or after-sales parts if applicable, and original design omnibus or statement. And if applicable, original notarized secretarial certificate in case of incorporation, partnership or cooperative, or original special power of attorney upon members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the omnibus sworn statement and do acts to represent them. For the financial documents, we have the audited financial statement, stock received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of its submission. NFCC or line of credit, the computation of the NFCC is equal to ABC, computed using the prescribed formula where the NFCC equals current assets minus current liabilities times the K factor 15 minus value of unfinished projects, including awarded projects not yet started, coinciding with the contract to be bid, or a bidder may submit a committed line of credit from Universal or Commercial Bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. For the Class B documents, if applicable, that will sign joint venture agreement, since the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the joint venture agreement in the instance that the bid is successful. For the financial requirements of the original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form, original of duly signed and accomplished price schedule. For the form of bid security, the bid validity period and bid security validity period is 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. The bidder shall submit a bid security declaration or any form of bid security enumerated below. A cash or cashier's manager's check, bank draft guarantee, or the revocable line of credit, 2% of the ABC, widely issued in bond callable upon demand, issued by the surety or insurance company, duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security is 5% of the ABC. For the bid evaluation, the financial component of the bids of each class bidder shall be evaluated using non-discretionary criteria, including arithmetical corrections for computational errors, and thus determine the correct total calculated bid prices. The bank shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceeds the ABC. The following factors are to be considered in the evaluation of the bid prices: completeness, no price in a award item was non-compliant, indicating a zero or a dash equals paid to the government. All prices are deemed to include all taxes. Bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including where applicable bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive. Arithmetical corrections, bid prices in figures versus words, the words to reals. Total price versus unit price per item, the unit price prevails. Total price versus actual sum of component items, the actual prevails. Unit cost in the detailed estimate versus unit cost in the BOQ, the latter prevails. If above ABC, it is considered non-compliant. For the post-qualification, it is the verification of your legal requirements, licenses, certificates, permits, and inclusion in the blacklist. Technical requirements, we have the SLCC, similar to the contract. Performance in ongoing government-private contracts. Delaying the partial delivery of goods amounting to 10% of the contract price in its ongoing government-private contracts. If any of these contracts shows the bidder's failure to deliver or perform any or all of the goods or services within the period specified in the contract or within any extension granted by the procuring entity pursuant to a request made by the supplier prior to the delay, and such failure amounts to at least 10% of the price or unsatisfactory performance on the supplier's obligations as per terms and conditions at the time of inspection. Liquidated damages can be imposed on the supplier. Authenticity of bid security for the financial requirements of the audited financial statement, up-to-date value of all outstanding or uncompleted works, undergoing and awarded contracts, updated NFCC, or line of credit versus the ABC. For the contract award, the contract shall be awarded with the bidder's bid has been determined to be the lowest calculated and responsive bid as a result of the data evaluation and post-qualification conducted. The successful bidder shall be notified through the issuance of the notice of award within the bid validity period and must be confirmed by the successful bidder in writing within 10 days upon receipt in accordance with section 37.2.2 of 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184. So here are the common reasons for rejection of bids, ineligibility, and post-disqualification of bidder. Late bid, no letter of authority for the company to submit the bidding documents, failure to submit supporting documents to support compliance with the requirement, submitting forms not acceptable pursuant to the provisions of the revised IRR of RA 9184. NFCC less than the ABC or the amount of credit line commitment is less than 10% of the ABC. For bid security should be bond callable on demand and validity of 120 days, not inscribed in the bond. Failure to submit original copy of the surety bond certified by the Insurance Commission indicating the name of project, the procuring entity, in name of contractor, short-term bid validity and bid security validity period, bid prices higher than the ABC, delay in the partial delivery of goods amounting to 10% of the contract price in its ongoing government-private contracts. So for these following projects, 25 GA 00019 and 25 GA 00020, the deadline for submission of clarifications 10 days before the submission of bids. The deadline for the submission of bids is on September 1, 2025 at 10 o'clock a.m. Number of copies of bid proposal, one original copy of the technical and financial proposal for the place of submission of bids, bids and awards committee, second floor, conference room, DPWH Regional Office 1, City of San Fernando, Laoag. So that answered the presentation of the pre-bid conference for the two goods and services. Thank you. Please take note of the schedule for the 5 contracts that will be on September 1, 2025. Now clarifications from our members and thank you. And on there being other matters that share is thank you.